Welcome to Tea Talks, where young adult story and church experience blends together into a beautiful insight to inspire us. So grab a cup of tea, sit down, relax, and enjoy while we spill the tea. And here with me today, I have my good friend Hannah. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I am so happy you're here. And we're going to start today going straight to the point. How do you feel that your needs as a young adult in the church are being prioritized?
A lot of times I feel like they aren't, just because a lot of older members or people that have been in the church for a while want to hold on to their offices or hold on to their traditions. But there's many ways that we can put those things aside and come together.
Have you ever experienced a time where you were actively involved in the decision-making process of your church?
No. I think in the smaller things, like with the young adults, we plan things, and of course everybody gets to put their input in. But when it comes to the big things in church, not so much. But there are people within my church that I go to now that are younger and are on the board and hold offices.
So they are starting to open up more to young people. But how does it make you feel that you're asked to help with things, but you're never asked your opinion to how things should go, like to make a decision?
I think it's really easy to get offended, but the older I get, the more I enjoy not having to put too much input in, because it takes away some of the stress of like people not liking your idea or that kind of thing, like that anxiety behind it. But there are times where I'm like, man, we should really do it this way, and it's just so irritating, but it is what it is. It's okay.
How can we change the church culture if we don't involve young people, right?
Yeah.
It's difficult. What are some of the unique challenges and pressures that you as a young adult face today with this fast-paced and interconnected world of today?
I think a lot of people my age and younger, especially younger, experience the way people view them, their like the way they dress, who they are as a person, their identity. That's a big topic right now, our identity and who we are as a person. And I think it's a struggle, especially within the church, because people feel like they can't truly be themselves because they're going to be judged or not accepted or pushed aside, or, okay, well, you're a little weird or you're a little far out there, so we're not going to listen to anything you have to say, kind of thing.
Has technology played a role in your church engagement?
I think it's slowly starting to play more of a role. At my church that I'm at now, I'm on the praise team, and we're doing a Vespers, and we put stuff out on our personal Instagrams all the time, and we're trying to push it on our church Facebook and maybe start a church Instagram, because that's more of a hit right now, is Instagram. That way we can reach more people and get more young people in the church. We are having a little bit of pushback on that, but it is helpful that we all have our own Instagrams. We're all young and we can all post stuff and, try to reach as many people as we can in our community.
Yeah, we can see how social media platform can be something negative when young people are comparing themselves with other people. But do you see that the platform can also be a way to connect and create spaces?
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to a podcast or seen a reel on Instagram that literally has touched my soul, like the core being of who I am, and has helped me through a situation that I'm in at the time. And I think that's huge. And as us as Christians, we need to work really hard to reach those people that are young and that are on social media all the time and are scared to get out of the house.
How do you see churches embracing this new way of young adults communication? Because like it or not, sometimes I hate social media. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship constantly. Sometimes I hate it, but then I start realizing, hey, this is the language that young people use, right? So in the topic of prioritizing young people, how do you see the churches using social media would look like that they are prioritizing young people?
I think if they got social media, especially the older members, just trying to understand what it is and what it's about, and go on there and like the young people in the church's posts, especially if they're posting about God. And even if the theology is a little off from what they believe in, it's okay that you have different opinions. It's okay that you don't agree on everything. But the support behind that will get more them to stay in church and more people to come to church and hopefully get their friends to come.
And I think it's almost like in the past, well, it's not even in the past, even in the present, you know, like a child, they're in first or second grade, they do a drawing and they put in the fridge, right? That is like showcasing their work.
Yes.
It's the same thing with social media. It's like the young person is expressing through their art in social media, and when we support, and also a way of evangelism too, right?
Yeah.
What are the potential benefits of creating spaces? This could be virtual space, this could be a physical space, or initiatives specifically designed to prioritize young adults.
Community, growth. I think that a lot of times in church, especially, they try to separate the young and the old because it prevents conflict and it keeps things like hush-hush and not such an issue. But I think it's really important, especially with the younger people that you don't agree with, to have them home for lunch after church one day, or say, hey, I'd love to go get a cup of coffee with you. Make that community with them, and that's what's gonna grow the church and grow your relationship with them and God.
How do you see the church? Let's say if you would create this perfect church, okay? How do you see a church that prioritizes young people?
I think for one, like I said, inviting young people to lunch, especially if you're a longtime member. You don't even have to be older, but if you're a longtime member, inviting them over to lunch so they can get to know you, because a lot of times at church there's so many people you don't even talk or even say hello. I can't tell you half the members at my church because it's just so hustle and bustle after we get done. And it's just a great way to have community. I think when young adults make a event or schedule something out in the church calendar, you need to be there. Even if it's not your cup of tea, like, go there with an open heart, open mind. Obviously protect yourself from what's not of God, but go there and support them and show them that even though this may not be your cup of tea or what you like, you're still supporting them in their growth with God.
Showing up, right? Kind of like when kids have soccer game. You may not like soccer, you don't like the cold benches, but you go, right?
Yes.
You go just to show them support. How can church leaders, what do you think we can do to help the churches start prioritizing young people?
Start standing up for them. Take them under your wing. The first person I ever saw Jesus in, we called him Papa Bobby. He and I, near the end of his life and the older I'd gotten, we didn't agree on everything, but he took me under his wing and he loved me, you know? And there's so much beauty in that. I don't know if you've seen The Chosen or not, or if any of the viewers have or not, but there's this one scene where Peter's upset about something, and Jesus tells John to go find him and come with Peter later to the event they're having. And John's like, oh, why? Like, why do I have to do this? Like, he can come later. He's fine. He's a grown man. And Jesus says, that's not how we treat the hurting. And a lot of times as young adults or kids, they are struggling with things that you have never been through and never will experience. And it's so easy to be like, oh, they're just like complaining or they're making excuses, whatever. Meet them where they're at. You know, like, you don't have to agree with their behavior, but you can love them and support them and be Jesus to them here on earth.
That's actually how I came to church. There was this family that they were trying to reach to their own kids that were out of the church, and they opened their doors to us. And when I say us, we were a crazy bunch. But they loved us. And it took time, but pretty much we are out in the church today. There was a group of like 20 of us. So yeah, I am 100% in agreement with you. Hannah, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.
Thank you for having me.
And for you at home, Thank you for joining Tea Talks. Keep stirring up the conversation, keep talking and embracing the beautiful and the messiness of life. And until next time.